Hello students. So today we will discuss class 7th chapter 2 Rise of New Kingdoms part 3. Before this part, in part 1 and part 2, we studied and discussed about the Rajput rulers and the Muslim foreign invaders. Now in this part we will study about the South Indian kings. So these are the major kingdoms of South India: the Pallavas, the Pandyas, and the Cholas. Let's learn about these kingdoms. The Pallavas. They had become extremely powerful during the 7th and 8th centuries. They had their capital at Kanchi, nowadays we known as Kanchipuram. They built many beautiful temples out of stone. The Pallavas were defeated by Cholas in the 9th century and their rule came to an end. The next kingdom, or we can say the great dynasty of South, was the Pandyas. They had established their capital around Madurai and were a force to reckon with. Details about this region is given in the accounts of Marco Polo. The kingdom declined towards the 14th century. The Cholas. This kingdom was the strongest kingdom of South India. Their dynasty was largest and had a great extent. The rulers of the dynasties were also known as the Imperial Cholas because their powerful empire was established in South India and even some northern parts of the Sri Lanka. Their capital was Tanjore. Nowadays we know this Tanjavur. The founder of Chola dynasty was Vijayalaya. So let's learn about him. Vijayalaya, as you see in the picture, he is the founder of Chola dynasty. He built the beautiful town of temples, Tanjavur, and he also built a temple of goddess Nishumbha Sudhini. Rajaraja Chola. He is the next greatest Chola king. He was a brilliant commander and that's why he also known as Rajaraja I. The kingdom was gifted with rich resources of Rajaraja. He was a good administrator. He transformed and reorganized the administration of the empire. To control the trade with the Arabs on the western coast, he defeated the Cheras at Tiruvananthapuram and he controlled the Malabar coast by defeating Pandyas of Madurai also. He realized that the need of a strong navy is must and that's why he built a strong one. His navy was the best one in the region at that time and he also occupied some parts of Sri Lanka. He also defeated the Chalukyas in the Deccan. He sent his naval forces to conquer the Maldive Islands and he also built many beautiful temples. The one great example is Temple of Vrideshwara in Tanjore, which is till today date present and it is a very beautiful temple. Rajendra Chola. After the death of Rajaraja I, his son Rajendra Chola occupied the throne and he continued the policies of conquest. His army reached to Myanmar also and the region of Ganga Valley. He was also known as Gangaikonda Chola or the conqueror of Ganga. The word Gangaikonda Cholapuram is formed from 4 words which means Ganga, the holy river, Konda means broad, Chola, the Chola ruler, and Puram means city. It is believed that Rajendra Chola filled the entire temple tank with the water from the Ganga river. He also founded a new city, Ganga Konda Cholapuram, and a special coronation ceremony was held to celebrate this honor of his victory. He was the most adventurous ruler of Southeast Asia. The successor of Rajendra Chola continued to fight against the neighboring kingdoms, but as it always happens, continuous wars need resources and wealth to carry on. That's why, towards the end of the 13th century, the Chola Empire declined. But before that, let's learn about some special characteristics of this empire. Chola Trade. The traders during the Chola period dominated trade, and there were two chief ports, Kaveri Pattinam and Nagapattinam. Merchants arrived from Southeast Asia and China also, and evidences proves that even Yavans visited the city in order to trade. That time, trade guilds were also established. The profit from the trade were used for the development of agriculture and the cities. Cholas also carried out trade with China also. Cultural achievements of Cholas. The first one, temples. As we learned earlier that Cholas are spectacular example of great rulers and kings, those patronized the persons and the great architecture and sculptures. Many beautiful temples were built by them. The famous temple of Tanjavur and Gangaikonda Cholapuram were built by Rajaraja and Rajendra Chola. Carnatic style of music was originally sung in the temple's hall, and inscriptions also inform about the hospitals near the temples. These inscriptions also gives us a list of the medicines maintained in the hospitals, and temples that time were the meeting places for the people. There people also discuss their local issues. Sculptures. Bronze images are the most distinctive feature of Chola craft. These bronze images of the Cholas are considered amongst the finest in the world, and most of the images were of deities, and a few sculptures of devotees were also found. After that, the language and literature. During the Chola region, many regional languages like Tamil, Telugu, and Kannada developed. An important literary achievement was that famous literary works were translated into these regional languages. Chola inscriptions are a source of history that gives us great information about their conquest, land grants, village government, posts, and officials also. The copper plate, as you can see here in the below picture, these inscriptions of the Cholas are very unique feature, as they were used for writing about the system of evolution, the events, conquest, people, and land grants. Inscriptions are also found on the stone walls of the temples. A large number of inscriptions are found on the Vrideshwar temple also. The Chola administration. As we know, the Chola kings were very powerful, but they also took advice of either their councils or the ministers, like Purohits. For easy and efficient administration, the Chola Empire was divided into provinces, and these provinces are known as Mandalam. As you can see in this flowchart, the Chola administration further divided into Mandalams, and after that, Mandalams were further divided into Valandus or district. This is the same pattern as present today in India. Like India is divided into states, then states are divided again into districts, then there are lots of villages or towns in a particular district. Same pattern was followed in the Chola administration. The Chola administration divided into states like mandalams, then districts called Valandas, and after that group of villages formed larger units called Nadus. The king appointed governors to look after the mandalams, and there were many towns also. The towns, those were very big, are known as Tanur, and the governors were always from the royal family. In the Chola administration, they have assemblies also, and assemblies plays very important role. The Ur assembly is a general assembly, and the member of this assembly had to have administrative experience, be honest, and should submit their own and family members' accounts fairly before contesting assembly elections. So, with this, I hope you can understand that time also elections were held for the post of assembly. After that, the Sabha. Sabha is a local administration. In this, there are many functions were followed, and we came to know about those functions from the inscriptions found. These inscriptions informed us and gave us the knowledge that Sabha had many functions, like it looked after the different aspects of local administration, temples, gardens, land revenues, and law and orders. During this period, trade and commerce was at its peak. Corporation named MoneyGramams, and these MoneyGramams were operated in inland towns as well as coastal areas also. And these MoneyGramams were very large in size. Now let's learn about the Chola agriculture. Chola made very new development in the field of agriculture. They opened up areas for large scale cultivation, and they also learned and introduced the art of growing two crops in a year. And that's why the Chola kingdom were excelled in the cultivation of rice and other crops. The methods of irrigation. It was amazed to listen and know that in the 12th century, the technology was so high and developed. That time, Cholas had a well organized irrigation system. The branches of Kaveri river were divided into several small channels, and that deposited fertile alluvial soil on the banks. And this technique resulted the making fertile land. To prevent flooding, embankments were also constructed, and they were also construct many canals to carry water into the fields. The method of artificial water cropping were also used. Cholas were also made huge tanks. As you can see in the picture, tanks and dams also to collect rainwater. That means that time also the king used the rain harvesting system. A great dam, as you see in this picture, was also built across the Kaveri river, and this made the capital Tanjavur the granary of the south. The Chola temples were very rich, and hence they took the initiative to invest in agriculture. They gave economic support to bring barren lands under cultivation and also for irrigation. And with all this technology, the Chola kings gave away lands in dry areas and made them new one for agriculture. So, among the all empires of South, the Chola Empire is considered as one of the greatest spectacular and remarkable kingdom in Indian history, and the reason was that it exhibit all around development and prosperity. Their achievements in the field of culture, warfare, agriculture will be remembered through the ages and ages. And with this, we end up the chapter here and will meet you in the next